All right. The Neighborhood Book Club. All right. We're going to get into it. Let's talk about the Neighborhood Book Club. Why do I always use the wrong one? Let's try this again. All right, my bows and bow ties. This is the Black Opinionated Woman here, also known as a bow. I know, look at the background. Look at my lighting right now. It looks like 40 days and 40 nights of rain is getting ready to come through here. It's like, so anyway, I should probably turn on some more lighting, but I haven't mastered the whole lighting thing yet. So, yeah, we're going to go with this. So let's talk about the Neighborhood Book Club for a second. Why am I in a Neighborhood Book Club? So let me just say, I normally try to guard my space, okay? And but I've learned over the years that I had to be less guarded. I don't. Why am I wearing a jacket in here? I don't. I'm going through it this morning. So while my daughter is trying her best not to make a lot of noise eating her breakfast, I got my boys upstairs. So I'm going to try to get through this quickly since I got started later than I wanted. It's about 7:20 in the morning. I'm going to try to run through this quickly. The Neighborhood Book Club is always good. We're going to get into why I think you should be in a neighborhood book club. Well, besides the fact that you get an opportunity to discuss something, you know, um, hopefully meaningful or whatever like that, you get an opportunity to talk about something other than your children. I think the biggest thing is you find out about the network of talents, right? I love this because you always find out what people are good at or who knows who is really networking. What is going on with this camera? I don't like the blurriness. The networking. I love it because you always find out who can do what. Okay. Where can you go to get this done? Where can you go to get this done? Who does this better, all that kind of stuff. So the benefits of being in a book club is, of course, you're going to discuss a book, you're going to discuss what happened in the book, but you do more discussion of the other stuff, right? Forward in relationships, but and I'll get to that. I call it the network of talents. You find out more information about, like, what, I need to get this done. See, all that stuff gets discussed at the neighborhood book club. Now, I I will say it's not like everyone in the neighborhood is in it because there's always going to be different personalities and whatever, and people are at various stages. I'm like considered one of the older parents now, right? Because I don't have a baby at home, so there are people who had to remain home or whatever because they're dealing with babies and how that whole thing goes. Well, my youngest is as old as some of the people's oldest. So I'm at that point. I'm at that really good point now where I don't have to worry about stuff like that. I don't have to do anything. They can put themselves to bed. But anyway, you find out about the network of talents. Okay, number two, all the kid related stuff. Now, what I really want to say I can't get into because I got a pair of ears off over here. I'm not going to show you who's listening to everything, but you find out all the kid related stuff. And the significance of that is because you start to understand, okay, maybe these group of kids don't need to get together. This is the ground truth of what happened in this altercation. This is what's going on with these teachers, right? I'm one of those parents who works. So I don't necessarily get an opportunity to deep dive on some of these things. I know when I come home from what they tell me, I know from what I communicate with the teacher, and then there's the parents who are around, and they will give you the real tea. So anyway, I was at book club last night, and you find out a lot of really good, interesting things. The good, the bad, the ugly, but it helps you make informed decisions on how you need to be moving. How you want to move, how you want to conduct yourself. So I think it's good to be part of those things. Let me, like I said, with the book club, it forces you to actually get into reading something. It takes you out of your normal everyday everything, really. You're going to read a book, you're going to discuss the book, but then you talk about other things, it gives you an opportunity to like eat, fellowship, that type of thing, snacky snacks. Um, it forces you to laugh because let me just say, I went to book club last night and I was super tired. And I was also not very prepared because I couldn't get into the book. Like I was super bored. I tried reading it. I tried doing books on tape and I kept falling asleep on it. So they were like, for this one, they're like, okay, we're just going to catch you up. And, they caught me up and I offered up my opinion based on the things that happened in the book. But I think the biggest thing is it's actually good because, I'm one of those people I'm like a feast or famine. I don't like neighbors in my business, blah, blah, blah. But I think on some level, it is okay to engage. Okay. I know oftentimes many of us can be like, I'm not trying to be around my, and like, I get it. I get it. But it's also good to know who you are surrounded by. Yeah. So anyway, all the kids stuff. It's really, really good. You get into like what really happened and why the kids are really popping off or whatever, or why, parents are doing certain things. But then this is my favorite part, which is the unlikely friendships and relationships. And yesterday I was out at my daughter's lacrosse practice. And one of my neighbors, I really like her quite a bit. She was checking in on me and it kind of like took me by surprise, because I've been so busy. What is up with this camera doing this weird thing? I don't know why this is doing it. This is the reason why I don't use this camera. I just use what's on my computer. I'm really confused right now. What is going on? I don't. Oh, let me see if I can swap cameras for a second. Let me get my life together. Yeah, I don't like this version of the camera. Oh my gosh. Let's go back. All right. Sorry about that. So anyway, my neighbor had checked in on me. She's like, "Are you coming tonight?" I'm like, "Well, I'm still out at blah, 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 blah." She's like, "That's like 30 minutes away. You're not gonna get there in time." I'm like, "No." She's like, "You come anyway." I'm like, "Yeah, and I gotta figure out what to bring." She's like, "No, I'll just say this is from us." I'm like, "But I don't like coming empty-handed." She's like, "Just come. Do you want me to bring you coffee?" I was like, "No." She was like, "Are you sure? I'm brewing a big pot now, and come on." I'm like, and it hit me. I was like, that was pretty cool because that's not the first time she's done that. And I think the reason why it hit me is because I'm like, wow, people will check in on you. The people that you don't think are going to check in on you are checking in on you. She was like, I haven't seen you in a while. Come on through, which is interesting because some of these hackers that are out here that are supposedly my friends do not check on me. I feel like I do the checking in on. That was some crazy grammar. I'm like the checker in or honor. The checker in her arm. Can I use that? But anyway, so it was interesting how she was like, I want to see you. And then because, I got there late, which I knew I was going to be there late, which is fine. I wasn't the only one actually. We had been trying to have our coffee date. And she was like, all right, so look, let me know what you're going to do. Are we getting together for coffee this weekend? It's just so that we can catch up. And for whatever reasons, I don't know what it is that we just formed. I'm not saying we're besties, but you form a relationship. The main thing I'm trying to say is when you are in a situation like a book club or whatever, you never know who you're going to hit it off with. You never know who you have the most in common with. You never know who, you just never know. You never know who is funny. You never know anything. And I think it's okay. Like I used to say, like, I don't want to know my neighbors. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But I've found that I don't have to be besties with everybody, but it's okay to have a relationship with people. It's okay to give people an opportunity. But I think more so, what I enjoyed was the ability to laugh. I enjoyed the unlikely networking. I enjoyed the understanding of the things that I'm not necessarily privy to because I leave and go to work. I would say um, it's good to have something like that, and it's in close proximity. It may not be family or your childhood bestie, but it's okay if you have a proximity to people to occasionally engage in interactions. Like I'm a feast or famine kind of person. I don't always engage in every single thing that happens because I do value my privacy and my special space. But I will say this to especially for middle-aged women, all women really, I think it is okay to engage in those kinds of relationships. You don't have to, but I think it's okay to be open enough to say, hey, it's I can allow, a moderate level of access to you. And I think the biggest thing is because you never know who will be an advocate for you or a friend, and vice versa. You may be a friend to somebody. Now, like I said, I don't like to get overly close, right? Because it's too close for comfort when you're like neighbors with people, but you don't know who you're going to develop a solid relationship with. So anyway, I just want to just throw that out there. This was a very light video. Um, but yes, the Neighborhood Book Club. And let me tell you, honey, I hee-hawed so much, and I didn't expect to, especially since they don't look like me, right? But I had a good time. I really had a good time because they were a hot mess, but in a good way, hot mess, not in like, they were hilarious. Like, I am over here, he and hawing. Now, that's not my first time going to the book club, but I just think when you give people an opportunity, like I said, you don't have to be besties, but just being open to just um, having relationships with other people, it's nice and it's healthy. So, look, all right, let's see if I can play the right outro going for this because I always mess this up. All right. You guys have a good day on purpose. Let me actually pretend like I'm a good parent and make sure that my boys get down here because it is 7:30 and they need to be out of this house in about 15 minutes to that bus stop. All right. Have a good one.